I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This one's wife. Harry's coming back without Meghan. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Many years ago, I predicted that this one's wife would take Harry away from the United Kingdom. I predicted that they would end up in California, and that's what happened. I knew this would be the case because, in order to control him more effectively, and given the fact that the royal family proved too much of a threat to her control as a consequence of her innate narcissism, she essentially needed to retreat to what she saw as home territory and take hapless Harry, the intimate partner primary source, with her. This was easy enough for her to do. Already exhibiting his narcissistic traits of defiance and resentment, she was pushing on an open door with regard to Harry having his moment in the sun, both metaphorically and literally. Given his envy of his brother, and the fact that he always felt that he was the spare, in terms of not only actually being the spare, but being treated as such, this fostered a resentment which it was very easy for this one's wife to harness and exploit, along with the other manipulations that she used in respect of Harry. Essentially, Harry was ensnared by someone who is often regarded as an escort. And where many had gone before, Harry made the mistake of trying to turn her into a wife, and we've all seen the consequences of this. I've detailed in separate videos the toll that it has taken on Harry as the victim of a narcissist. And for all of his failings, and for all of his flaws, he remains a victim of the narcissist because he was ensnared by her. I don't say this to make excuses for Harry. I'm simply telling you how it is with regard to the dynamic. It can be, for instance, that two narcissists come together and they're both victim of the other narcissist. And for Harry, he is the victim of a narcissist who is his wife, and the consequences flowed from it. I've also explained that eventually Harry will wake up to what he's dealing with. He remains in the awful shared fantasy, clouded by emotional thinking and the manipulations which he utilizes against him. He is not in a good place. And repeatedly, there is the question about whether Harry will be able to leave, whether he will seek to reconcile with his family, and if so, what will be the terms? Or will he simply remain trapped with her, becoming increasingly disgruntled, but lacking options to do anything else other than to remain in the United States with her? An article with something called reality tea is another instance of the consideration as to whether Harry might be making overtures to return to the United Kingdom. The article tells us that Prince Harry is reportedly planning to mend his tumultuous relationship with the royal family, but without his wife, this one's wife, by his side. A source has explained that the Duke of Sussex is arranging a solo trip to the United Kingdom for this royal reunion. However, he has reportedly realised that he can only fix the fractured bond with his family members without involving this one's wife. Prince Harry and this one's wife's fallout with the royal family has been a topic of significant media coverage over the years. Amid the couple's strained relationship with the monarchy, the Duke of Sussex is reportedly looking to mend burned bridges. I'm not sure that you can necessarily mend that. I think you have to replace it, don't you, with his family members. According to Radar Online, he will be not involving this one's wife in it. Sources close to Harry have explained that the years-long fallout has only left him sad and shocked. One insider claimed that he didn't expect the problems to drag on for so long. However, he realises that involving his wife may only add fuel to the fire. Naturally, it remains to be seen the extent to which this is accurate. But one aspect of it which certainly bears commentary is that should he seek to make an overture towards the royal family, it is going to be far more effective if he does so without this one's wife. This is because, whilst he has caused significant problems, she is still regarded as the catalyst for those difficulties. Furthermore, he is a prince by birth, and he is their family member by blood, which means that other than some Janey-come-lately who married in, there is still the possibility of some very slender concern for Harry. It is also, of course, accurate to determine that she is the root of the problem, but also it provides the royal family with a convenient out. They can seek to involve Harry once again, based on the fact that he was led astray by a polluting influence. That so long as he learns his lesson, has his body spanked, and sits in the corner sucking his thumb and not causing any other problems, he may well be admitted with a much reduced role. But it cannot involve her, for, as has been reported on earlier, the fact that more information is being advanced about how the Queen was angry with this one's wife's behaviour and the repeated brickbats that she slings across the ocean towards the royal family means that in the eyes of many of them, she is somebody who cannot be redeemed. It's certainly the case that William and Catherine would regard her as an individual they would want nothing to do with ever again after her behaviour towards Catherine, and of course the vicious smearing of Catherine in relation to her cancer diagnosis by Sussex supporters, all of which that did not go challenged by either Harry or this one's wife. Again, they could in their own mind reconcile that issue by stating Harry's stupid and he was led astray. And whilst that's true to an extent, you might decide that you can utilise that to reconcile in your own mind, forgiving him, but not her. As mentioned, whether Harry is seeking a reconciliation, whether there is going to be a solo trip, only time will tell. But it does make sense that if it is to happen, it has to be without this one's wife. The fact is that although Harry isn't happy about the situation, facing the royal family alone might be the only option for now. The report suggests that he's open to video calls, mediation, or one-on-one conversations with the family members. Apparently, he's finally realised that the way he handled things before has not brought any progress, and this marks a genuine shift in how he's trying to move forward. If this is accurate, has this shift come as a consequence of genuine realisation by the Prince of Pink Pancakes? Is he moving out from underneath the shadow of this one's wife? Or is it simply born out of necessity, that he's running out of money, that he's running out of options, that he finds himself an increasingly isolated figure and he wants back in, again, exhibiting a narcissistic trait of selfishness? Naturally, if he were to attempt to do this, this one's wife would not be happy. She would regard him acting alone as being traitorous towards her, save where the outcome might be advantageous to her vis-a-vis money, in which case she would endorse and sanction his conduct. The royal family might be minded to accept an audience with Harry to listen to what he has to say, but they will be extremely suspicious and sceptical of his motives, given the past behaviour and the fact, of course, that he remains married to this one's wife. The situation may be clearer were they divorced, and then, less influenced by her, they may well be better prepared to entertain him. But so long as he has any connection and involvement to her, the royal family, following expert advice, is going to treat him with considerable suspicion, because he forms a conduit back to his wife. That information shared with him will undoubtedly be shared with her, and she leaks information and cannot be trusted. Furthermore, engaging with Harry would be a breach of the no-contact regime, because he's undoubtedly going to make mention of this one's wife, and this is another reason why the royal family would want to keep him at arm's length. Some interesting thoughts in relation to the possibility of Harry having some form of reconciliation with his family, and the possibility that he has realised that if he's to do so, it has to be done without this one's wife. Whether it will happen, well, we shall just have to wait and see. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.